She craves the man who barely notices her, the one whose attention is fleeting, whose presence is scarce, whose words are measured, and yet she cannot let go. Even when she tells herself she shouldn't care, even when pride and reason scream walk away, her mind spirals back to him. He could ignore her completely, and somehow that very neglect becomes irresistible. Every glance he withholds, every silence he leaves behind, plants a seed. And the seed grows, slowly, relentlessly, into obsession, because desire is never logical. It doesn't bend to beauty, kindness, or generosity. It bends only to scarcity, mystery, and that one silent, untouchable presence. Why is it that the man who barely notices her becomes unforgettable? Most men think attention equals attraction. They flood her with messages, compliments, and proofs of care. She may respond politely, even with warmth. And yet, something vital remains missing. Spark, tension, hunger. Neglect creates a vacuum that her mind cannot resist. Scarcity triggers a subconscious obsession, a pull she cannot rationalize. She does not choose to feel this way. It chooses her. Imagine her sitting alone, replaying a brief exchange where he barely looked at her. She turns it over in her mind again and again. Every pause, every withheld word, every small distance becomes magnified. The smallest gesture is inflated into meaning. The paradox is cruel. The less he gives, the more she invests. Her imagination becomes the stage, and he the lead actor, playing a role she cannot control, cannot predict. Indifference feels like a challenge, a puzzle her mind aches to solve, and in the process, he becomes larger than life. The question hangs in the air. Why does neglect ignite obsession more than attention ever could? What invisible mechanism in her psyche makes indifference feel irresistible, almost intoxicating? Attention is a currency, but only when it's rare. Flood her with affection, and it becomes ordinary, invisible, forgettable. But when a glance, a word, a message comes in fragments, it becomes priceless. Scarcity sparks obsession. It awakens a deep, almost ancient part of her brain, a part that equates rarity with value. The man who appears unpredictably, who appears only in glimpses, becomes more than a person. He becomes a puzzle, a chase, a desire she cannot name yet cannot resist. Picture it. Two men. One texts every morning, always available, always present. She smiles politely, maybe even enjoys it, but her mind wanders. Then there's the other. He responds sparingly. He disappears for hours, sometimes days. When he speaks, it carries weight. Every word feels deliberate, precious. And suddenly her thoughts are consumed. She replays the briefest interactions, analyzing tone, timing, expression. She craves him, not because he is abundant, but because he is elusive. Contrast is the key. Predictable affection breeds comfort, scarce attention breeds obsession. Her brain doesn't just notice him, it magnifies him, and yet this is only the beginning. There are subtle, almost imperceptible behaviors, tiny withdrawals, measured silences, the rhythm of approach and retreat, that intensify her fixation. But what exactly are these behaviors? And why do they make her feel like she is powerless to stop thinking about him? Men who reveal everything are easy to read, predictable, safe, forgettable. But the man who keeps his cards close to his chest, he becomes a story she cannot finish. Every unspoken word, every hidden layer invites her imagination to step in. Her mind begins to write the scenes he never showed, crafting a man larger than life. She fills the blanks with fantasies, with possibilities, with hope and fear intertwined. And in doing so, she invests not just attention, but emotion, time, and longing. Think of it, the quiet text that ends without a signature. The glance that lasts too long but never gives itself fully. The stories he tells in fragments, leaving her to assemble the meaning. Each omission is a thread she cannot resist tugging at. Every unanswered question pulls her closer, deeper, like a moth to a flame. Mystery is more than silence. It is the canvas upon which obsession is painted. It creates tension without confrontation, desire without presence, and a gravity that ordinary men can never achieve. Yet there is a delicate edge. Too much transparency, too many explanations, too much revealed, and the spell shatters. Desire dies when the unknown is explained away. The question lingers, sharp and unresolved. How much can she discover before fascination turns to familiarity and craving turns to indifference? Desire is rarely calm. It thrives on peaks and valleys. The man who alternates attention with absence, warmth with distance, creates a subtle storm in her emotions. She is pulled into highs that feel intoxicating, then dropped into lows that leave her craving more. Every small smile, every fleeting touch, every pause before a reply, each becomes a spike she chases without realizing it. Women do not become addicted to men themselves. They become addicted to the emotional rhythm he orchestrates. The rush of connection, followed by the ache of distance, mimics the very cycles of chemical addiction. Dopamine spikes, heart racing, mind fixated. And she learns slowly that these bursts of intensity are not given freely. They must be earned, decoded, and pursued. Predictable kindness is invisible. Comfort is forgettable. But the man who offers uncertainty wrapped in fleeting reward becomes unforgettable. He creates a private addiction, a storm she cannot walk away from, and the danger lies in the predictable. Too much safety, too much generosity, and desire wanes. She does not chase the stable man. She chases the one who makes her feel alive, exposed, and unsure. The true question is this: what exactly creates these spikes? And how does a man calibrate them so she never stops chasing, never stops thinking, never stops longing? Certainty kills fascination. Clarity destroys obsession. The man who leaves gaps, who acts in ways she cannot fully predict, forces her mind to work overtime. Every text she receives, or doesn't receive, becomes a puzzle. Every glance, every delayed response, every slight change in tone is magnified in her imagination. She replays moments endlessly, analyzing, decoding, projecting meaning where none may even exist. This uncertainty is not frustration, it is engagement. Her brain cannot rest, cannot stop. The more ambiguous he is, the more she fills in the blanks, and the more addicted she becomes to the chase. The craving is subtle, slow, relentless. She does not just want him. She wants the story she is building around him. The emotional highs and lows he forces her to live inside her own mind. Contrast this with clarity. Men who explain, reveal, or justify every action are easily understood, predictable, safe, and in that safety, desire fades. Obsession cannot thrive where there are no gaps, no questions, no unknowns. Uncertainty keeps her thinking, keeps her imagining, keeps her hooked. Every unanswered question becomes a magnet, pulling her attention back, again and again. And here lies the cruel paradox. The very more she wants to understand him, the deeper she falls into fixation. The real question remains, what happens when too much clarity is finally given? And why does desire collapse the moment the mystery ends? Power is quiet. Power is measured. The man who gives attention sparingly does more than create intrigue. He creates control. Every word, every glance, every brief encounter is deliberate, and the moments he withdraws, they are far more potent than any constant presence could ever be. When he steps back, even slightly, emotional tension rises. She notices what is missing before she notices what is present. Her mind begins to chase, her heart begins to ache, and she unknowingly reinforces his influence simply by longing for more. The scarcity of his attention becomes a silent signal. He is not to be taken for granted. He is valuable, and she can't help but want him, harder than she would have if everything had been freely given. Think about it. The men who over-explain, who are always available, who shower attention without pause, she forgets them. They are background noise. But the man who disappears even briefly leaves an imprint that lingers. He is a presence felt in absence, a gravity she cannot resist. Withdrawal is a subtle. Everything she experiences, the scarcity, the mystery, the emotional spikes, the uncertainty, spins together into a cycle she cannot break. Each element feeds the next. Each withdrawal amplifies desire. Each unanswered glance strengthens obsession. Her brain ties reward not to him, but to the unpredictable pattern he creates. Each spike of attention, each deliberate silence, each fragment of revelation becomes a hit of dopamine, a pulse she craves. And the more she chases, the deeper she falls into the loop. It is relentless. It is invisible. It is addiction in its purest psychological form. She may believe she is in control. She may swear she will walk away. Yet the cycle pulls her back, always back, because her mind has learned that desire is inseparable from uncertainty. The haunting truth is this: she doesn't crave him for who he is. She craves what he does to her emotions. And until she recognizes it, she is caught in the loop, endlessly replaying the same chase in her own mind. Desire is never rational. Scarcity, mystery, and emotional contrast are not tricks. They are psychological triggers that shape obsession. Women don't become addicted to men, they become addicted to the feelings men evoke: tension, longing, hope, frustration. Every carefully timed glance, every silence, every unpredictable action fuels that attachment. The more uncertainty, the stronger the pull. For men, understanding this is not manipulation, it's mastery of emotional dynamics. Create moments that linger, withdraw strategically, and embrace mystery. Obsession thrives not on attention, but on the artful control of emotions she cannot ignore.